Oh good, this time I listened on the side of my ear without the headphone in. You better have some luck in you. Oh, hello everyone! Welcome to another video with me on Berets, and today we're going to be talking about the news on the JP side, and boy, is it exciting. Alright, so yes, the half anniversary is pretty much over on the JP side. The point event is winding down. Thank goodness. Hopefully it will come back with some much needed improvements to make it, at least if they're going to make it so grindy, give a little bit better feeling of progression. But regardless, the half anniversary was a good time to stock up on potential lapis, or, you know, there was a couple of banners or whatnot that maybe you ended up getting some characters off of. There were some free pulls, but now it's time to get back to the grind. Haha, get it? It's a War of the Visions joke. The grind never ends. Anyway, but yes, this month is finally the month. I am incredibly excited for the 3 characters that are going to be joining us in War of the Visions. And let me tell you, after so many whales have spent so much money on Blingstern, this new banner is probably going to be hurting them a little bit because, of course, it features the most prized and wanted in War of the Visions characters of all time, Laswell. No, I'm just kidding. It's Glaciella. Anyway, but all joking aside, all 3 of these characters are looking incredibly exciting. So let's take a look at them real quick in the preview. First thing you're going to note, a brand new UR Ice character, Laswell himself from Brave Exvius, will now be joining both Fina and Rain. And let me tell you something, so far, I'm actually liking the look of Laswell currently. First of all, the War of the Visions art style looks really great. Second of all, his character model looks fantastic. Third, he's an Ice UR character. And there are already a couple of really good Ice UR characters in the game. Agrius as well as Victoria, both who I have level 99. Fantastic. You couldn't ask for a potentially better Ice team. But yeah, Laswell looks to be primarily DPS based on his 3 classes. First of all, Gandarshilt Knight, as well as his 2 subclasses, Samurai and Dragoon Knight. I think, first of all, Gandarshilt Knight, like, their primary class is usually a bit of a hard one to tell. Other than the preview, looks like Laswell is capable of dishing out some good damage, as well as potentially, you know, being able to parry some attacks in kind of a evasion style, which is, you know, pretty common to samurais, I feel like. But yeah, his limit burst looks like an AoE damager. It seems to have some pretty good range on it and even hit AoE, and is a nice elemental. It is a damage within range after increasing the defense penetration. So in other words, a defense penetrating limit burst, potentially really good considering that a lot of people are freaked out about tanks and high damage and high HP units like Blingstern. It could be that Ice Laswell is just yet another counter to that. Could be, preemptively thinking about it. Either way, looking at his subclasses, the thing that Samurai, I've been waiting for a really good Samurai to come to the game, but as a primary class. So Samurai is probably just going to be really nice support for his main class, which I assume is slash-based damage, because of course it is. However, his tertiary class of Dragoon Knight is what interests me the most. Victoria is a really high damage dealing Dragoon, but unfortunately, being able to chain, she could use a few extra chaining partners, a few more spear users in the game. Well, Laswell could potentially be it. With the ice element and that spear type weapon, meaning that he does have piercing damage attacks, could be a nice little partner for Victoria. Again, preemptively, but I think it's worth noting at this point. And next up is definitely the girl I have been waiting for probably the longest. Victoria, Kryl, Adira, these were all characters that came out of almost nowhere that I didn't know about before, but definitely have earned their place in my heart and my team as well. But the Wotv princess herself is one of the characters that I've been kind of waiting for the longest. Always been a little bit more Team Lisette, not necessarily Team Lisette Alliance, but anyway, taking a look at her, I gotta say, initial thing. So first of all, let's take a look at her limit burst. After increasing the damage limit of yourself, and by the way, this is just bad translation, damage to the target, large penetration and chain is interrupted if it chains 5 or more, but the chain effect improves. So it has the potential of increasing chain effect, which is pretty interesting. She is a water-based character, so if you could potentially get a good water chain going, her limit burst might be a really nice finisher to that. Either way, she is a water elemental character, so you're either going to be looking at pairing her up with a spear team such as, well, Victoria off the top of my head, as well as potentially maybe Laswell or Eileen or a couple other spear characters could potentially get a really nice chain going. The other thing to note is that her secondary and tertiary jobs are as follows: Monk and Ninja. And I gotta say, out of those, Monk is potentially interesting because it is a potential HP boost to her. She might be quite the durable little unit. She also may have a little bit of status effect healing, which is slowly becoming more and more valuable on the JP side, so I'm definitely not going to overlook that class. But the third tertiary class of Ninja just screams, oh yes. Ninja, like any character in this game with a ninja-based class, is definitely going to have high mobility, or at least some mobility passives, and really, really good speed. You think of Medenia, you think of Thalia, you think of Ketone, really great examples, and I'm unsurprised. This is basically what I thought she was going to end up as, essentially, with Monk being the probable little surprise. Obviously, Spears being her main one, that's expected. But Ninja, considering how agile she seems to be in the animated cutscene, I'm not surprised that she ended up getting that as a subclass. Either way, I think that her overall kit is going to be really, really strong, and she is definitely one that a lot of people, including myself, will be adding to their collection. Note how I said not if, I said will on this one. However, there is a surprise-based character on this one, and this is one that I might even be more eagerly interested in, which is an archer type character, because there is no primary archer character in the game yet. Like, there's no bow character yet, and here she is, and she is beautiful. Oh my god. A MR or SSR rated character, so slightly easier to get depending on your luck, of course, but wind elemental, really interesting there. Definitely don't feel like I have enough wind characters that I want on my teams, but yeah. So her name is Lorelai or Lorelai. I might end up just calling her Lorelai. I don't know. Lorelai? There's got to be a happy medium in there somewhere. But taking a look at her... Sorry, I'm getting flabbergasted because I'm just excited here. Primary job is Hunter, meaning that she will have good range, and height will not be any kind of a issue for her. Secondary job is Viking, a primarily high damage dealing ability or damaging class. And last but not least, Knight, which, what an interesting combination. Personally, from what I am seeing, I am expecting her to be high damage dealing, slow movement. Or low movement, I should say. I don't necessarily think that she will be a slow character, but I do think that she is going to potentially hit really, really hard. First of all, hunters sometimes have abilities that gain killers on different types of enemies, which could make this girl just a lethal force to be reckoned with. Viking upping her damage also, I do expect. But the Knight is really interesting because it could add her with a defensive stat as well as potentially a good amount of HP and resistance. Either way, I think that she could end up being really interesting as a character that doesn't get a lot of movement, but doesn't need a lot of movement. She ends up being totally self-reliant because her kit is ranged, and the enemy won't get close to her because she'll just kill them. And for anybody who says, well, she's an MR-rated character, tell that to Thalia. Thalia ended up being basically a cheap version of Medina, and I'm very curious to see who this ends up being a cheap version of, but taking a look at her only key ability that we see, the first thing you'll note is it's ranged outwards, but it's also a diamond pattern, the same style as Fling Stern's most famous attack. That is incredibly interesting. Now it is just a medium damage rating, it's small. Need to brush up on my kanji. But either way, I'm really interested in her. I think that she could end up being one of my more favorite characters. And again, a surprise character is always welcomed. I'm really interested in basically everything that we are getting already in the month. That's not a good sign for my Lapis stash. Either way, getting the new characters early will unlock their daily shard farm quest, where you can max out for both Laswell as well as Glaciella to get 50 character shards total of each of them, as well as depending on your total amount of Lapis spending on anything that includes stuff in the stores or banners or whatever. Well, guess what? You will be getting some bonus of her character shards, so getting her to LB4 probably won't be difficult because I'm not feeling incredibly lucky in the month of June. But then again, my luck in May wasn't terrific, so... Now, coming with the new characters is going to be a new event, a new side story event, one that looks like it has a husbando on here. Could he be our next character this month? I kind of hope so. It would be nice to see some extra, some more male characters in the game. Yes, I shouldn't. I'm sorry, Laswell. It's the hair, man. Anyway, looks like it focuses primarily on our new archer-based character, which is fine because Glaciella is pretty heavily involved in the story right now. So, yeah, by all means, give it to the archer. Also, that N favorite, man, he is going to be in the story too, so let's frickin' go. I'm excited for this. Let's see where we end up. But looking at the event, it will be our first bow farming, which is great for our new MR character. I think she'll make out like a fantastic bandit from this event. And the spear, the elemental spear, is back as well, which is interesting because it is, to my remembrance, it is a ice elemental spear. I know my Victoria has it, but cool. More farming for that. I missed a little bit on my last go, so let's get it done. And the bow too, which I will be farming at nauseum when I get my MR girl. But yes, all of the new banners and everything, the new daily spend 300 Lapis will all be getting right away on June 1st at midnight. So Monday right at midnight. Ooh, right on my stream time. There you go. Looking forward to the month of June. The monthly logins will consist of a lot of the princess shards, as well as some UR orbs and a couple of rainbow rocks too. So pretty nice spread for the entire month, I think. Anyway, continuing on, of course, there will be your shop and everything like that and all that good stuff, so don't worry about that. Continuing on, JP will also be starting special guild raid battles, as if guild raids weren't difficult enough, well, good news, it's going to be even more difficult. Now you will need to set special guild battle teams. Starting in the month of June, there will need to be a male-only team and a female-only team. So, for you guys out there who have only been building girls, or guys who have been building guys, and every which and in what way you slice it, yeah, get ready for this one. It is the male and female teams. I guess we'll see who comes out on top. Also looks like we're getting a brand new Arena too. That's nothing surprising. We get these every month, but it's worth mentioning on stream. Now, taking a look at it, it looks like we are going to have a couple of banners. First thing you are going to note, looks like we are going to be having a couple of special, like, half anniversaries, one per day, get some bonuses kind of thing. But in terms of the banners for Glaciella and Lorelai, they will get their own banner, which, first of all, major shout out to Alum and Gummy, I guess. They certainly didn't have to do this, but they did it. That's awesome, man. Thanks for the uprate on only them. Meanwhile, for those of you who are looking for Laswell, you will be finding him on a banner with Rain. For those who have maxed out Rain and are looking to get a Laswell as well, probably not the biggest and best news ever, but if you missed Rain and you were also looking for Laswell, congratulations. You're going to have a really nice chance with a banner just for them. Aww. And other than that, there also will be a step up. Before you say anything, yes, of course, it's a paid step up, don't ask. But continue. Step 1, 2 will guarantee one UR card or character at random. Step 3 will be a guaranteed UR unit from the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius category. So Medina, Eileen, Rain, Laswell, or Ayaka. Not a bad mix, actually. Overall, like, if you don't have any of these characters and you are spending money on the game, pretty solid little get. You either get an amazing healer, a great magic tank, I should say, a pretty good spear user, as well as one of the best farmers, Medina, or the brand new character Laswell. Overall, not terrible, but you know, your luck will be as it is. Also, looks like we are getting a UR only banner for paid. Now, the way this works is that there's going to be one for each, one for UR males and one for UR females. Basically, you do a 10 poll and you are guaranteed to only get male or female characters. It's the UR at least, but hey, if you're more, choose your side. And other than that, the normal stuff as well as your daily polls. Oh god, please not up on Zen and Shards. I'm already maxed out. But yeah, looking like a fantastic start to the month with an absolutely super group of units coming to the game. Really excited for all three. Hopefully getting all at least the two that I want the most won't be super painful. Join me on my live stream on Sunday night as we go into Monday morning, and we will be doing our polls for it. I'm super excited, and so is Wedgie Boy here. So thank you very much for watching, and from me and Wedge, take care. See you next time.